Hello, everyone. I don't know who I'm going to get for this one. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Yusuf Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76 Sports. Let me go to my logo here. Yeah, there's the Big Discussions 76 Sports logo. Um, let me make sure I can see myself on YouTube. This is going to be a short stream. It's been a long day, and I honestly did not intend on doing a stream today, but I was watching this game out at Miller's Ale House in Hyattsville, Maryland, and yeah, it was a heartbreaking loss. And as a YouTube content creator who does sports, yeah, this is worth me coming and talking about to some degree. Hey, Raheem, thank you for stopping through. Hey, do you think I should share this link to Facebook? What do you think, Raheem? Do you think I should share it? I said something to everyone. I said if folks want to, I'm thinking about doing something. If you want to come and voice your opinion, no one said anything. So I'm thinking no one said anything. So they don't really care over there. What do you think? You watching still? You think I should share the link? You still there? All right, I think he's getting ready to do something because we were texting beforehand. Okay, snowman. Oh boy, the snowman is. All right, Raheem, I'm going to share this to Facebook. If folks want to come over, snowman's here. Since snowman's here, maybe I'll drop the link. Well, if snowman, do you feel like have you been watching the games today? Do you want to come up and say something? All my Facebook people are bitching and complaining about this, and I told folks that I might do something over here. Well, folks are a little shy about it. I'll tell you what, I'm going to share it over there, and people, if they want to jump on, they can jump on. If not, then I'll just delete it afterwards because some of my coworkers are over on Facebook. All right. So, Raheem, because you said it, I just shared it. If folks have a lot to say behind their keyboards, but when it comes to actually talking, folks aren't always up to do that. Okay, so the Buffalo Bills. Let me turn this on. The Buffalo Bills just lost to. Oh, the Big Bad Wolf is here too. Herb, let me know if Herb. I'm gonna go over some of these stats. If you want to come up, I'll drop the link. Snowman, same thing. Raheem, same thing. Okay, so the Buffalo Bills just lost a heartbreaker in Orchard Park to the Minnesota Vikings. So in terms of like the running backs and the receivers, ESPN usually gives you the leaders. I'm getting my signal thing. Buckeye Alex is here too. Just waiting for my signal thing to go away. Okay, it's gone. All right. So ESPN shows you the leaders for the offense. So Kirk Cousins, a good number of my subs over here are Michigan folks. I'm getting the antenna thing again, even though I have my Ethernet cable plugged up. Give me a second. All right. Most of my subs over here are Michigan fans, so we're all familiar with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was also our quarterback for a time here for the Washington Redskins. He was Robert Griffin III's understudy, and then he took over the position when Robert Griffin III wore out his welcome. And then he made a new home in Minnesota. So Kirk Cousins went 30 for 50 for 357 yards, one touchdown, and two interceptions. Josh Allen went 29 for 43 for 330 yards, one touchdown, and two interceptions. So their statistics are pretty much identical. And when I go over the team stats are pretty identical as well. Here's one big difference, though. So Dalvin Cook carried the ball 14 times for 119 yards and one touchdown. Our leading rusher was Josh Allen, who carried the ball six times for 80 yards. I think going into the last offseason, I know this is something that I flagged at the end of last season. Uh, will the Bills be able to get to the Super Bowl? Will the Bills build a running game, get a bell cow back there, get something back there, get an offensive line that can blow the opposing defense off the line of scrimmage? Can they establish that? If they can establish that, that would take pressure off Josh. He'd probably have to make fewer throws, and that would probably clear the way for us to go to the Super Bowl. But what we're seeing this year is much of the same. Josh today, in one of the biggest games of the season, was our leading rusher. He carried the ball six times for 84 yards. I don't think that's going to get it done in terms of winning the AFC and going to the Super Bowl. That's just my opinion. Justin Jefferson. During the game, I said this guy looks like he's making his bid for the MVP because he had a stellar game. Justin Jefferson caught 10 balls for 193 yards and one touchdown. Stephon Diggs had a good game, not as good a game. He caught 12 balls for 128 yards and no touchdowns. So the quarterbacks, their stats were pretty. Problem with this ESPN link is that they're running the commercials. So the quarterbacks, their stats were pretty much identical. Minnesota had a running game. We didn't. The Bills didn't. And Justin Jefferson had a stellar game at the wide receiver position. Guys, please hit that like button. I'm going to go over the scoring summary here. I'm going to look at the team stats, and then I'll wrap up. And then I'll drop the link if one of you guys wants to come up and say something, or if multiple guys want to come and say something. So the Bills put up 14 points in the first quarter. Minnesota only put up 7. That was a Justin Jefferson touchdown reception from Kirk Cousins. Okay. In the second quarter, Tyler Bass kicked a field goal to put the Bills up 17-7. Greg Joseph kicked a field goal to make the score 17-7, and then Gabe Davis caught a touchdown pass to make the score 24-10. At that point, I thought the game was I thought the Bills had a nice control of the game there, and I thought it was pretty much done. And then in the third quarter, let's see, Tyler Bass kicked the field goal for the Bills to make it 27-10. Dalvin Cook scored a touchdown there to make the score 27-17. I thought the Bills were still in control of the game. And then I think this was after one of Josh Allen's. I'm going to move off this really, really quickly. I think this was after one of Josh Allen's interceptions. CJ Ham ran the ball, scored on a running play to make the score 27-23. Let's see. Minnesota scored another touchdown to go up 30-27. And then Buffalo kicked the field goal to make the score 30-30. I'm looking at this advertisement here. And then Minnesota scored another field goal in overtime. And then Buffalo attempted to drive the ball down the field, and they actually did. Josh Allen saw something. He threw the ball. He threw an interception to end the game. So Josh threw two very big picks in that game. There was also that end of the game play, the fumbled snap. So the Bills could have actually won the game by taking a safety and making Minnesota drive the length of the field again with the time that was left. But there was that fumbled snap. Either the center snapped it too fast or Josh just mishandled it. So there were a number of gaffes. There were a number of debacles in this game. I'm going to take a quick look at the team stats here because I think these are very revealing as well. The Bills had more first downs than the Vikings. The Bills had 29, the Vikings had 24. The total plays, the Vikings ran 79 plays, the Bills ran 72. These are very, very even. Total yards, the Bills generated 486, the Vikings generated 481. Total drives, 13-13. Yards per play, 6.8 versus 6.1. Passing yards, the Bills generated 311 passing yards. The Vikings generated 334. So again, everything is pretty even here. Rushing yards, the Bills generated 175 passing yards. I'm sorry, 175 rushing yards. The Vikings generated 147. Okay. In terms of red zone attempts, the Bills were 3 for 6. The Vikings were 1 for 4. Let me make sure this is accurate. Yep. The penalties were even. Both teams had 7 penalties for 64 yards. The turnovers, those were the key. The Bills had 4 turnovers. The Vikings had 2. Right there. That's your game right there. There are 2 fumbles lost and 2 interceptions thrown. And off of one of those fumbles, off of the fumbled snap, the Vikings scored this touchdown here. Time of possession, the Bills held the ball for 33 minutes and 46 seconds. The Vikings held the ball for 35 minutes and 2 seconds. So the statistics were very, very even across the board. I think Minnesota had that running game. Justin Jefferson had a monster game. And the Bills turned the ball over too much. But it's not just the turnovers. If you watched that game, it was the nature of the turnovers. That first Josh Allen interception, if the Bills had kicked the field goal, they would have been up by 2 touchdowns. But for some reason, Ken Dorsey and Sean McDermott thought, okay, we're gonna go for the jugular. We're gonna go for the touchdown. And there Josh threw an interception. The next big turnover was the snap, the fumbled snap, which the Bills could have taken the safety there. I think they were just trying to get out of the end zone. The Vikings fell on it. They got it. That was a touchdown right there. And then there was the game sealing interception. So there are a lot of questions after this game. Can the Bills continue with no running game? Can the Bills, they've got 3 losses now, and they're tied for second in the AFC East. Can they win the AFC East at this point? Can they secure home field in the AFC right now? Miami looks like they might. Well, Miami is at least leading the AFC East. So there are a lot of questions right now. What's Josh Allen thinking after throwing those 2 picks? Josh Allen is the face of our franchise. He is the guy. He is the guy. He was supposed to be the guy. He's supposed to be the savior. He's the golden boy. What's he feeling right now? What's he thinking about right now after throwing those 2 picks? And yeah, and especially throwing the game-sealing interception. Raheem Gaines says Josh does too much. As we have discussed recently, he's making too many mistakes. The running game is non-existent, especially in the second half. And the head coach is in year 6. I see some folks came in. I'm going to drop the link. Raheem, if you're still there, Herb, if you're still there, Snowman, whoever, if you want to come up and say a few words about this, I thought the game was over at halftime. I thought that the Bills had the game won. They should have had the game won. They were in control of that game late in the game, and it was those turnovers. It was those turnovers. I think that sealed it. Does anyone want to come up? If not, I'll just shut this down. Um, Heartbreaking loss, very very heartbreaking loss for this team and for the city. Uh, Facebook, my most of my Facebook network or a good chunk of my Facebook friends, those are Buffalo people. So my Facebook is bleeding right now, and there are some calls for Sean McDermott's head. Um, but what does this mean? This was supposed to be the year that the Bills were going to go to the Super Bowl, and they can still do it. They can still do it. I mean, teams have gone from the wild card position, but I think that this Bills team needs to have the bye. Are they still doing the bye? This Bills team needs to have it go through Orchard Park in the winter time. And I don't know that they're mentally strong enough. I don't know that they have the moxie to go on the road somewhere else and to do this based upon what we've seen, what we saw today, and what we're seeing. But as Raheem Gaines says, the running game. The front office should have had this worked out over the summertime. We've seen flashes of something up to this point, but in a big game, I don't think you can ask, and I don't think you should have Josh Allen being your leading rusher. I don't think I don't think that's sustainable over the long term. Um, I did not want to go long. I just wanted to do something. I wanted to, as my brother said, I wanted to capture lightning. Okay, the big bet. Oh, we got Herb. Okay, Herb is here. Herb's gonna play ball a little bit. Herb, did you watch that?
What's going on?
What's going on? Did you watch the game?
I did not. And you know what? I'll preface my comments by saying this. I am a Dallas fan.
Oh,
And the one thing that I do with every Dallas game, whether they win or lose, is I look at the box scores. And I look at the total number of passing attempts and rushing attempts. If Dallas has a 50% rushing attempts, they generally win. Buffalo has everything they need to have a decent run game, except one thing.
what's that?
That's a commitment to running the ball. Buffalo has not committed itself to running the ball. I turned off the game. I was listening to it on WGR, and when it was 4:35 left in the fourth quarter, I said Buffalo's going to lose this game because they came out throwing. You don't do that. You run the ball. It doesn't matter. Minnesota had one timeout left. You can run effectively 2 minutes off the clock if you run the ball 3 straight times and run the clock down. Buffalo didn't do that. They can, and I blame this on the coaching staff. As much as I like their coaching staff, this is one that they have to wear. You have to put your team in a position to win, particularly when they're winning. Now, as far as the season, 3 losses is 3 losses. That's not going to impact Buffalo's opportunity to get to the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter who they lose to at the end of the day. It's still 3 losses. They're not worried about Miami. Everybody keeps talking about Tua in Miami. Buffalo's not worried about Miami, just like the rest of the league's not worried about Miami. Tua's playing well. Yes, they have a dynamic duo of pair of receivers on the outside. They can do a lot of things, but they're not going to consistently put up those kind of points against your top tier defenses. That's what Buffalo still has. Buffalo needs to commit to running the ball. It's just that simple.
Okay, I agree. I agree. And at times, um, I don't know if Josh Allen is trying to. He has that strong arm. If he's trying to will the ball in there, or what. But some of these throws, it looks like he's forcing them, and sometimes it doesn't look like he sees some of those defensive backs there. That last play, we were all in the sports bar. We were all thinking, who was he throwing to? What was he throwing at? Why didn't he throw it higher? He threw it low, so Gabriel Davis couldn't even get it. It was the strangest thing.
He plays in that regard. He reminds me a lot of Brett Favre. It's that riverboat mentality, as opposed to taking something that's there, he'll force it. Now, I'm not saying every interception that he's had or every mistake he had is a forced decision. Sometimes you have to understand your position as a quarterback and understand what your goal is. When you think either I need to run the ball first, and it's like Gaines said, he does too much. When you think I either have to run the ball or throw it, then you're taking too much of the offensive responsibility on your shoulders. That's why Buffalo has to commit to running the ball. I'll put it to you like this. Some of the old style coaches would script their plays, like Minnesota and Bill Walsh. He would script his first 15 plays. Buffalo, I'm saying again, I'm going to sound like a scratch CD. Buffalo has to commit to running the ball. It doesn't matter if they don't score points, because if you come out throwing the ball, defenses aren't going to worry about you running your running game. They don't need to. So when you have to run the ball because your offense hasn't, let's face it, the NFL isn't what it used to be. No more tour days. Your players don't come out in pads. They don't hit. Running the ball is a physical thing. And you look at the teams that run the ball well, especially like Tennessee, Indianapolis. They commit to it. If Buffalo needs to bring out 2 tight ends, get in the I formation or put a fullback there, whatever, run the ball. Run it. It's that simple. You'll make Allen so much more comfortable, and you'll take so much more of the weight of the offensive responsibility and production off of his shoulders.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think that was my position towards the end of after that, our heartbreaking loss to Kansas City, our season-ending heartbreaking loss to Kansas City. That was my synopsis. And it's surprising they haven't. Well, you said they have all the pieces there; they're just not committed to it.
Yes.
So, and then the question is, why? Is that just ineptitude on the part of the coaching staff? Hey guys, if you're just coming in, please hit that like button. The likes are free. That really helps with the engagement. Please hit that like button. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel. So then if they have all the pieces there, then the question is, why isn't the coaching staff doing it? Then
because running the ball is not attractive.
Okay.
Running the ball doesn't put fans in the seats. It doesn't get you on ESPN. It doesn't lead the highlights. Nobody talks about the team with the great running game. They always talk about the team with the great quarterback who's throwing this, who's making magnificent plays, and I give Josh Allen all the credit in the world. He's a phenomenal athlete, especially for his size. But if they want to, first of all, if they want to preserve his career, in other words, they want to have him play 10, 15 years, they'll understand the need to protect him. The best weapon any quarterback can have is a run game. And I'll go back to saying this again as a Dallas fan. The 2 things that Dallas has always had when they've won NFL championships: great running game, solid defense.
Yep.
When they played the second Super Bowl against Buffalo, Dallas was throwing the ball the entire first half. They were down. What did Dallas do the second half? 13 of the next 14 plays were running plays. They beat Buffalo up physically, and Buffalo never recovered. That's the mindset that Buffalo has to have when they come out, is we know we can pass the ball. Everybody in the league knows we have a dynamic quarterback and receivers that can get open. But we have to prove to ourselves and everybody else that say we can't run the ball that we're going to run the ball. And not only are we going to run the ball, we're going to run the ball when we want to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree. I thought the defense, despite the position that the offense put them in, I thought the defense kept us in the game, and I thought that they did what they were supposed to do. Von Miller came up with a timely sack against of Kirk Cousins, and the offense really screwed this one up, in my opinion.
Well, defense is fine. They got nothing to worry about defensively.
Well, then again, now me and my uncle talk about this all the time. I don't know if defensive backs are being taught to turn and find the ball. Because that Justin Jefferson kid, he was feasting on the Bills secondary today. So the front seven played a good game. The defensive backs, they got eaten up a little bit. And then some of those plays, the Bills were playing zone in the secondary, and I don't understand. It's almost like Leslie Frazier didn't make any adjustments to try to stop Justin Jefferson. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm not down there on the sidelines with them, but it didn't look like any adjustments were made to stop that kid or slow him down.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to stop really, really good receivers.
Right.
The one way you can't stop a really good receiver is by pressuring the quarterback. Also, you can also rotate coverages way. And like I said, I didn't see the game, so I don't know if they played a lot of zone Jefferson's way. They played safety over the top, man underneath. I'm not sure. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can attack a defense. But the other thing that Minnesota has is Dalvin Cook. He's a difference maker, not necessarily a game changer. He's a difference maker because he can catch out of the backfield and he can also run. So you have to be cognizant of that. And that's what I'm getting back to with Buffalo. If you're cognizant of that, then you call defenses with that in mind, saying, okay, we don't want to get gashed in the running game. So I'll sacrifice the passing yards because we don't want to get beat up front consistently. Because if you can run the ball on somebody, you demoralize them. And not only that, you wear them out. So now your pass rush gets slow. You can't get to the quarterback, and then they really start to beat you in the head with the passing game.
Right. Okay. Well, Herb, I appreciate you coming up. I just wanted to do something really, really quickly in the aftermath of the game. Do you have anything else? You said you're a Dallas guy, right?
Yes, man. Yeah, going back to the Tom Landry days.
Okay. How they doing right now against the Pack?
Last I looked at it, they were 14-14 going into halftime, which doesn't please me. They should be beating the pants off the Green Bay, but that's another subject for a different time.
Okay. All right. Do you have anything else?
I do not.
Okay. Well, I'll be listening to you guys tomorrow night. Thank you for coming up.
Always appreciate it.
They should have had the game won.
All right.
They were.
All right, everyone. That's it. That's all I've got. I just wanted to do something in the aftermath of that. That's another heartbreaking loss for this particular group of Buffalo Bills, for this team, for this nucleus, for this coaching staff. This is another heartbreaking loss that didn't have to be. And it was, if you look at the stats, I did that. I apologize for the commercial doing that thing, but when you go to the ESPN site, they have their videos playing and they have the commercials playing too. So you have to go back and mute it up. But interestingly, when you look at the statistics for both teams, it was even. The score was, it was a 3-point difference in the score. The statistics were even. The difference was the turnovers. But also, as Herbert just said, and as I read in the beginning, our leading rusher was Josh Allen with 6 carries and I think 84 yards. And I don't think you can win that way. Yeah, I think you need more balance on offense. Well, let me know what you think in the comments section below, especially if you're new. If you are new, please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to donate something to the channel, that information is below in the description box. Well, it will be. I threw this together pretty quickly. You can leave a super thanks as well. And I'm going to leave the link to my newsletter down there below as well. Tough loss, Bills. Tough loss, Bills Mafia. This isn't the end of the season. The Bills have 3 losses. They could still secure home field. I think they need to secure home field to have the best chance of going to the Super Bowl. but a few more losses and they're back in the wild card round again. So, and they're not hosting anything. So let's see if they're what they're able to do. I'd be very interested to hear what Josh Allen has to say about what happened, because over on Facebook, he's getting roasted. He's getting shredded. He got paid all that money. He got paid his lunch money, and he's trash. That's not what I'm saying. That's what other people are saying. Guys, please hit that like button. I'm finishing up. But if you're just coming in, the likes really, really help with the engagement. Please hit that like button. That helps a whole lot. For the new people, this is in large part a Michigan football channel. I'm a Michigan alum. I am also a Buffalo native. So when I can get the Buffalo Bills content in here, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to try to do more Michigan basketball this season. We have a comment here from Cody Hellman. I've never seen you before, Cody. And here we go. LOL, the Bills are overrated. Is that a Dolphin up? Yeah, I think we have a Dolphin fan here. Shout out to Carlos Bradbury in my Facebook network. He reps the Dolphins, and he has a ball every time the Bills lose. So he's having a good time tonight. But thank you for stopping through here, Cody. I've never seen you before, but I appreciate that. Everyone, please hit that like button if you haven't. If you're new, I am winding down. I just wanted to do something really, really quick on this. All right. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Everyone, stay safe out there. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Go Bills. This isn't the end, but you guys are playing with fire at this point. So, and the Vikings played a good game. Kirk Cousins is not a bum. He's not a bum at all. Kirk Cousins is really, really good. He went to Michigan State. I'm a Michigan alum. I saw Kirk Cousins play a lot, and then he was here in Washington with the Redskins. So Kirk Cousins is good. Dalvin Cook is good, and that Justin Jefferson played a stellar game today. So as much as we want to say the Bills lost, the Vikings won. So, all right, everyone. As always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.